You're listening to I'm So Vain with Josh Carmichael, only on LA Talk Radio.
All right, hey, welcome to I'm So Vain. I'm Josh Carmichael. Before I introduce my guest sitting here next to me, I want to talk a little bit about him and a little bit about what's going on, and want to say something to everybody out there. I hope you guys are all safe with the fires. We have had some power outages ourselves and been surrounded by the fires the past 2 days. So anyway, thanks to the first responders and all the firefighters and doing a great job out there for keeping us safe, and want to say that to everyone. But here we go. We pushed back a couple days, so we're live, coming to you now. And obviously our normal time is Tuesdays at 11 a.m., so check us out next Tuesday. We'll be back on schedule. But thank you for tuning in and joining us here today. I'm So Vain, youtube.com/C/I'm So Vain. Check us out on Instagram, I'm So Vain Show. On Instagram, follow us there, keep up with us. You can follow me at The Real Josh Carmichael on Instagram as well, or on Facebook, and yeah, that's all that stuff. All that social media crap.
It's important.
I don't, if you guys don't know, or you don't follow us, or you're not following the Facebook, the posts and stuff that Nancy, our producer's submitting and on our page, and we have some social media people helping us out now. John St. Ryan right here. John and I go back several years, and we did this T-Mobile commercial that I believe Nancy reposted today. That for me was one of the best and one of the most classic commercials I've ever done. And I happened to meet John on the set, and we had a lot of fun with it. And really got to know this guy, and he wrote a book here called A Voice for the Horse, because he's also a horse guy, and we're going to let him tell you about that and talk about that. But I just want to say, first of all, wow, welcome to the show, by the way. John St. Ryan here. You've done like everything.
Yes. Where would you like to start?
So, no, I'm going into the book, and I'm like, I knew a lot about you, but I mean, I'm like a martial arts boxer. You competed. You won like how many titles? I can't remember. I didn't memorize all of them. I'm like, go on, and you were Sean Connery's like stunt double, and worked with him, right? And all this. It's like
you just got to put all the effort in you can to this life.
Yeah,
and make of it what you can.
So going back to your youth, how did you get into the entertainment business? Because you kind of started in boxing and stuff, right?
I did, yes. Apparently my mother told me that my first stage thing was playing Davy Crockett and singing Davy Crockett when I was 5 years old. I walked out on stage, and they actually had to get a shepherd's crook to drag me off because I kept singing the same verse over and over and over again. So obviously, I had a penchant for standing in front of people and trying to entertain them.
And that was 10 years old?
I was 5 years old.
5 years old, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know, life goes on and you do all kinds of things, you know what I mean. I joined the police force. That was another thing. It's not in there, but I did. It lasted for 2 years, but that's another story. But as far as the acting goes, it was the stunt work that got me into it.
Right.
And the stunt work came because of the martial arts. So I'd done martial arts since I was 14 years old. And as a 14 years old, why did I do martial arts? Because I was the big guy. And everybody wanted to pick on you because you knocked the big guy down, and, well, you're the big guy.
Yeah, they're a hero, yeah.
So, and I wasn't much of a scrapper then, and, you just kind of survive. And it's the playground crap, and you bully and one thing and another, and it got old. So at 14 years old, I decided I'd go and learn how to do some martial arts. And this is before the Bruce Lee pad and all this. Because we're going back a long time now.
Back a couple of years. Yeah.
A century or so. So I did this, and but I got hooked into martial arts. I really liked the discipline, the art, and the actual building of your character was important. So I stuck with it, and I stayed in traditional martial arts until I reached the third dan level, which is your third degree, if you like.
Right.
And that was till, I think it was about 26, something like that. And at that point, I wanted to investigate different styles.
Right.
So I looked at, and this was a Japanese style I was teaching at the time. And I wanted to learn something about Muay Thai, which is Thai boxing.
Right.
And again, this is before the kickboxing and the MMA.
Before it's all, before that was popular.
So, very fortunately, there was a Thai master, a young man, who come over from Thailand, and he was studying in Manchester, and I wasn't living too far, Manchester, England, wasn't living too far away, so I decided to go and take some private lessons. So I took private lessons with him, and he was an amazing athlete and an amazing teacher, and all his skills, I had a feeling he was going to be able to beat me really easily. So month after month, I worked and I trained hard. I used to go once or twice a week to these private lessons. A few months in, and he says, "John, would you like to spar?" Oh, I said, "Yes, I want to see if my skills are really, your skills and all this." Well, we only started 30 seconds in, and he landed a shin kick to my leg, and I crumpled like a piece of card.
Yeah, just
that was it. And I'm lying there, and I said, "I was powerful." Oh, sorry, John. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you so hard. I don't know if that's when you don't mean to hit me so hard.
Yeah.
For God's sake, don't hit me hard.
Don't. Yeah.
And then I realized what he used to do for training. You know that scaffolding, steel scaffolding?
Yeah.
Well, he'd wrap a little bit of Hessian sack around it, and then his shin, he would
slam his shin
pound
again?
his shin into this, just repeatedly.
Making it
solid,
times. Yeah.
I'd be watching thinking, oh,
wow.
boy. And he recommended that I take Coke bottles, because this was before they had cans, you see, and they put Coke bottles and you put sand in, and then you just go up and down your shin.
Start hitting yourself.
Like I
did
it
you
for
do
a
it?
while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did it tough?
Oh,
But
it
that's like
toughened me up, but
it
made me weep.
That's definitely the old school of training. I mean, I've heard of those things where they, they rub their legs and they take a metal bar and roll down their shin and stuff, and it just.
You'd have a bucket of sand, and you'd have your hand. This is when the days of the pizza sellers. And you'd stab your sand. Your hand into the bucket, and then you go from that to a small grain.
Right.
And then you go for a bigger grain, and by the time you'd finished, you were jamming your hand into pebbles.
Oh wow!
So that when you attack somebody, it would go.
Wouldn't hurt. Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah.
It plays havoc with you.
I'll say,
the rheumatism is killing me now.
I'll say, how's your joints now?
Oh boy, yeah. I'm on.
Now, did
turmeric's working overload?
Is it? Now, you did several stunts as well, right? You're a horseman. You've done some horse stunts. I mean, I remember they wouldn't let me ride in the opening of the T-Mobile commercial, but they did you because you were.
Yes, and I wish they hadn't.
I remember that. That wasn't your fault, though.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't the horse's fault. I mean, if you're going to blow huge 6-foot rolls of tumbleweed across, give us some warning.
Yeah.
And, the horse was really good the first time. I was amazed this horse jumped the tumbleweed, which was amazing to me. And I thought, great, that's going to look great on the commercial.
Right.
Unfortunately, they didn't use that. So that's the second run.
Well, they wanted it smooth or whatever, I think they held the tumbleweeds, didn't they, on the second one?
No, they ran it again. That's what freaked the horse out.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It got underneath the first one. It kicked it under mine. And then, he just went.
And he just freaked out. Yeah.
And all I can hear is.
Yeah, we don't see that behind the scenes stuff. That was a really fun job, wasn't it? That was one of my favorites, really. And I remember
the director was so good. I mean, he had an eye, and he knew what he wanted. He wanted realism. He didn't want some cartoon.
He wanted like a film. It was like a film. He was a film director.
Yeah.
But how many? Because I had 4 callbacks on that. I had to keep going out and showing that I could ride. Did you do the same? Because we met at like the second callback, I think, right?
Well, do you remember at that time I was living on the ranch up in Newkirk?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when we were up there, it's 3 hours at least, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, a long way.
And there were times we would be driving back, and they'd say,
"Hey, you
have to
come back."
Oh, for God's sake! We're 2 hours nearly
already out. Yeah.
Come back. But it worked out good
Yeah, I remember I kept having to show up, and I'm like, okay, I rode a horse once, and I rode a horse a second time, and a third time went out to a different ranch, and I had to prove that I could ride again. And I don't know if I never told you this story, but I went out the third time, and I can't remember. It's off of Canaan, one of those ranches over there, like near Malibu, and they say, okay, you're going to be on the black horse over here or whatever. And I didn't know. I'm just showing up to ride. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I start to get on the horse, and he just rears. So
Fell apart.
I'm halfway on, and I
Gee.
fortunately got out of it. And they go, no, not that horse. He was the stunt bucking horse.
Oh, good grief.
But the wrangler or whatever didn't know, so they threw me on a wild horse, and I'm like, oh my God, that would have been really pretty.
Yeah,
that would have been really fun. So like, no, that's not the hero. That's not the hero. And I think they thought I was a stunt guy or an extra stunt guy or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
And
because you were riding.
They didn't know I was the hero or whatever you call it.
You weren't just going to sit on the oil drum.
Yeah. So that's funny. And then
See, that's the thing that they don't see on
the commercial.
on the
yeah.
commercial, you know, like
We're on
when you're
those-
doing some of the intense dialogue, they get rid of the horses and they put you on an oil drum.
Yep.
It's on the saddle.
Big
on an
barrel
oil drum.
and has
So
little
you're looking like
springs.
3 Egypts there.
Yeah.
On oil drums.
It's
Four
very
Egypts.
funny. Yeah. Yeah,
was-
those
it
are
was a good show.
that was fun though.
Yeah.
What a great! I remember the weather. It was like raining and sleety,
was
kind
windy
of
and
windy,
everything.
cold, and I wasn't feeling well. I had an ear infection. Yeah, it was a fun
You
spot.
couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, I know, but
What
it
did you
works.
say?
It works. What?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that like 3 days of filming. I think we did the 3-day shoot.
Yeah, it was a good film.
But anyway, that's the T-Mobile. If you can YouTube T-Mobile Cowboy, that's all you have to enter. It'll come up. Great commercial. John leads it off, and he.
Just well shot.
What was your line? People are gonna do what we say or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me hear it.
In the Clint voice, you know,
Yeah.
you people are gonna do what we say. And you come in with, what is it?
I can't do this anymore.
That's it, yeah. And then you get the baleful look from me.
Yeah.
What was that lad's one line that he cracked me up? And he had that one line.
The guy that's on.
On
I
your right.
liked it. That one.
Yeah, but he,
Or
yeah, it was
the
just,
guy that was next to me.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was just the way he said it.
He was. I think it was his first time acting or something. Like
Yeah.
he was like, I liked it.
It was so
And he was like
genuine.
so genuine because he threw it away and he
Perfect.
was like kind of like out. he didn't know when. I think he was like didn't know when to say his line.
Yeah.
When that
But
actually
it
worked.
landed perfect.
And I'm like, yeah. That
good
was.
stuff.
We had some fun outtakes on that.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Fun,
that's the
fun.
horse stunts.
And then
stuff,
a couple years later, or a year later, I hired you to be in my film.
Yeah.
Bad Cat.
that was good. Yeah.
That was.
That was easy.
You know
for
what?
me.
I got to tell you, you, and I talk about this. I really respect you as a human being, as an actor, as a professional, and after meeting you on T-Mobile and all that, I looked up to you. I still do. And well, you're taller than me.
I'm
Probably
taller
that's
than you,
probably
that's
why. But, no, I just I have this genuine respect for you, and I remember sending you my script
Yeah.
for Bad Cat, and the words you wrote back to me, my friend, that it totally moved me.
Wow.
And I was, that's the kind of stuff that, one, I didn't expect it, but just to paraphrase, John wrote something back like, it's the most heartfelt and the most, well, I don't know, do you remember what you
Well,
said?
the
You said
thing-
something like it was,
The point of it was
Yeah.
that I understood where you were because you have a similar way of life about going at things. You want to take life and
Right.
get involved, do things. Don't
Yeah.
sit back. And if something's not working this way, well, I'll try and do this. And your desire to make an independent movie, again, like I did say in the letter, that's how I was at your age back then.
yeah,
And it was like the frustration of, I know I can do this, I know I want to do it, how am I going to do it? I don't know, but I'm going to do it.
right.
And but the writing the story, sure, you can always say, well, these stories have all been told before, but the performances are what are important.
Right.
So you bring the story, you bring the performances, and that's the heart. That's the
Yeah,
heart of it. So
that's
that
what
was
you
good.
said. I remember you used the hard word in there. It said it has a lot of heart.
Yeah.
And I really, and I just remember at the end you go, I'm in. Just tell me when you're ready to shoot.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was easy.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Well,
because you're the first person I actually wrote it with you in mind when I wrote that character. And John plays that character named Quinn in Bad Cat, and it's on YouTube now as well, Bad Cat. But he's a bartender, an Irish bartender. He's an Englishman by birth, but
an Irishman by life.
He's British, but yeah, he played a great Irishman, and so it was just a lot of fun working with you on that. And then I think that's when I found out, because it's a boxing film. It's about a boxer. It's about I was kind of a middle, blue collar worker who I get laid off from the mill or like a metal factory, and I go to the bar to get drunk to wash away my frustrations, and he goes, "I got something for you," and he shows me a boxing contest, and come to find out, this is when I found out on set that you were a real boxer. And I'm going, I boxed Golden Gloves when I was younger, and I boxed a little bit, but I'm not a boxer. I don't say, yeah, I'm a boxer. I don't compete. So John taught me a lot and told me, kind of, I think how to frame it for camera to make it look good as well.
Try and keep your nose. Yeah.
What's that?
Try and keep your nose.
Yeah, no, yeah. But I just remember you brought, again, and that's the essence of the things we do as actors, but the life experience, like you've had all this life experience,
Yeah.
and you brought that in, and I just knew you were right for the character. It's
So you see, like you were saying about, you were surprised how easy it was for me to say yes.
Uh-huh.
But you see, I recognized that thing in you, and that's what sparked it in me. Because way back when I started, and I wanted to do, I thought, well, I'm going to get involved doing independent films. That gave me my first break from doing stunt work and doing martial arts, because I was doing fight choreography, and that got me into a movie. But I remember one time, this guy, the director I was working for, he says, we really could do with a big name in this, even if it's just as a guest thing. Well, I knew a lass called Holly Pleasance, her dad was Donald. So we managed to get in touch with Donald Pleasance, and he basically, we managed to get it for this movie, and we shot it in Malta, in Popeye Village, which was the film set for the film Popeye with Robin Williams.
Oh.
But he just said, yeah, I'll do it. Great. I like the script. I like the idea. It was one of these like Halloween type creepy horror films,
Yeah.
And I'm there with I'll tell you, this is a funny one. So at the end of this deal, the idea was that for me and the girl, the heroine, we're supposed to be walking through this village at night, and we can hear all kinds of things, and we're looking for this thing, this creature, whatever. And you know what it's like. You've got that single tone note, and something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're walking through, and it's shot at night. I mean, it's a low budget feature, is this. But the idea was that as we're walking through, there's another floor in this old shack, and the director said, I want Donald to drop like he's dead, but we want him to drop and just land upside down in front of you two, just as you walked in. And it scared the bejesus out of everyone. So he'd asked the agent, and the agent said, no, he's not doing that. Donald Pleasance, he doesn't do things like that. You need to get a double. And he says, well, we can't really do that. We want that shot. So the camera's behind John and this gal, and we see Donald just suddenly appear. He's all made up.
Yeah.
So I was getting on really well with Donald, and we were kind of drinking buddies at the time. I was in my drinking career, which has subsided a bit now. But anyway, he says, I said to him, it was almost the last day. Yes, it was the last day of him for the shoot. And I told him the story, and we were there at night. And he did like a drink. And he had a bottle of champagne. I said, why don't we just crack this now before we actually shoot this thing, Donald? So pops the cork, and we're drinking champagne. And I said, I got this idea, Donald. It'd be really good if you were up there and you just fell down and hung upside down in front of us, and you're all made up and you're dead. But it's the shock for you know what it's like, because you've done horror movies all your life. Right. He says, that's a very good idea, John, yes. But how will I be able to suspend upside down? I said, my mate here, Paul Flanagan, he's a big lad. He'll hold your ankles.
Oh my God.
Yes, it sounds like that. So he did it. And the funny thing was,
You got him drunk to do
so
it.
he was tipsy, he was happy, and he
He's
was
happy.
just an absolute, just professional. We, action, and we walk in, action, Donald. He flops down, his eyes are stark, but he's all pasty and he's dead. And he's upside down. And the director shouts, cut! And Donald just goes, bah! And bursts out laughing.
Oh my God.
Because he's so professional. He's
Yeah.
brilliant. But we got the shot.
Oh my God, that's
And,
great.
and the agent,
So it worked.
it was
You-
too late
you-
for the agent to bother.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like you know, the directors and everybody tries to get people to do things, and they want money and they want things, and then you befriend them, and
Yeah.
you go, "Well, yeah, why didn't they
Give
ask
a
me to
shot.
do it like
Yeah.
that?" You
And
know,
I've come,
It's just
that's
a-
happened
it's-
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's just the way the way you if you
how you approach people.
Yeah, it's how
and
you
if you
approach
can
people.
get something going. It's not going to work all the time, but it's good.
yeah. Well, I want to say thank you again for doing for Bad Cat stuff you did.
Oh, yeah.
We had some long days, and you drove a long way and long hours, and I
Well, it
expected a lot out of everyone because I expected a lot out of myself at that time. And I
That's
remember I
a good-
was,
Yeah.
awake like 24/7.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. I still I think we have the trailer up on YouTube as well, or on it's on YouTube, but it's also on Facebook. Yeah, the Bad Cat trailer. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So you're let's see, martial artist, a boxer, an actor, a writer, a singer, songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Am I forgetting anything?
Let's see. Tinker, tailor, soldier, spy.
Soldier, I missed
I
the
played
soldier.
a spy.
The spy.
Yes, I played a French terrorist. I have the worst French accent. This is fun. This is
Is
another-
French hard to do?
Oh,
from
jeez. Well, especially if you've been told. This was in a TV show in England, and I was playing this French terrorist. I remember this. They said that you're driving along the freeway, the motorway over there, and you're in this big truck,
Yeah.
and we want you to sing "Country Roads," John Denver. I'm thinking it's bad enough trying to do the dialogue with a French accent because I'm not sure. So, country roads take me home to the place I belong, and I'm thinking, I don't know if it's any good or not, because the other thing was because back then, there were no like steady camera, travel cam, so you're doing it in a studio with a bit of it wasn't even a decent green screen. It was just a backdrop.
And they just like rocking a car.
Well, they got the grips outside, rocking you. Driving along, but accents are weird, aren't they? I'm always fascinated by. Ever since I was a child, I used to think, like I was born in the north of England, so the north of England, it's like it's all like that, proper, really down to earth, lad. I'm like that. But then, as you get further up north, it goes into like Newcastle, and they have a Ganidum tune by Richard. So we've not got it in a field showing the grass. What the hell was that?
What?
I went into town and saw a small cow eating grass. Oh no, I went into town to buy a red shirt and saw a little cow eating grass, which is a Ganidum tune by Richard. So we've not got it in a field showing the grass. Now,
So can
weird,
you
isn't
understand all the dialects
Well,
pretty much, or
the thing that
Cockney's bad too, right?
Cockney's
just like
that's
like a
right,
bunch
is
of
that
drunks
it?
sitting around.
You've even got lizards doing that on commercials, haven't you? I love Cockney because I always think
I love the way it sounds.
Michael
but-
Caine.
Yeah.
Everybody does an impression of Michael Caine, and sometimes it gets really silly because he talks like that, and Michael Caine doesn't talk like that. He doesn't talk out the side of his mouth. He had a wonderful phrase. There was a movie called Get Carter. The reason I know this is because Michael Klinger was a producer.
Yeah.
And going back to my first film, The Assassinator, that I did as an independent
Mhm.
back in the day, he took that on, and he said, "You're going to be the next Michael Caine." He said, "I produced Get Carter,"
Wow.
and of course I didn't become the next Michael Caine, but it was very nice of him to suggest that. But
You
anyway,
can do a good Michael Caine.
well,
so is that,
this
does it
line
count?
in Michael's film in Get Carter was great because he's up against this big guy. The idea is Michael's going there to revenge his brother or something like that,
Right.
and he's up against the local gangs, the mafia types in Newcastle. And So there's this big bruiser comes up and he's like standing in front of him. And Michael, as Carter, says, "Now look, you're a big lad, but you're out of shape. For me, it's a full-time job. Behave yourself." And he walks away. It's like, what a great line that is. You know?
line.
So every time I think of that, you're a big lad, but you're out of shape.
That's good.
What about for you for accents? I mean, do you come across where you get? Because I have to do American accents.
I played Scottish in a play once, and
Yeah.
I studied dialect, and Scottish was because I'm German, Irish, and Scottish.
Yeah.
So I connect to the Irish heritage of my family probably more than anything, and I think it's why I made my character Irish in the in the film and stuff, and I try to use the Irish names and whatnot. But I'm pretty much just an all-American guy.
Yeah.
I don't get
where
asked
would you
to
say,
do a lot of dialects.
No, in America. I mean, do you ever get said like,
Well, I guess
do
Southern,
New York?
I lived in New York and I do New York, but
I can't.
I don't look like New Yorker, so I don't even I can't.
Does New
I don't know if
Yorker
I could
look
go
like?
there right now, but I used to do Italian and whatever the goomballs and whatnot, and like, hey, I mean, I do like Christopher Walken impersonation.
Do you?
So I like, hey, in New York, there's times when, I can do that.
That's
kind of
great.
York, but I can't do like.
That's good.
Can
you do
Sylvester
Stallone?
Stallone? Yeah, I got to get warmed up for that one. My favorite are like Jimmy Stewart's my favorite, so I always do Christmas time. Well, that's right. Well, you sit there and you weave your web and all. Well, you want the moon? Yeah, so
they're great. Those.
I love him, but
I think it's fascinating doing those.
Yeah,
It's
so,
like,
but I
there's so
never
many
get I never
places.
get asked to do that stuff because people look at me and they're like, all-American hero.
Yeah. Well,
That's Josh.
go for it.
And I'm like,
roll with
but
it.
I'm funny. I can write funny, but they don't see that. I'm like, but no, I'm really goofy inside.
Yeah.
And then you look at this and you're like, football player or cowboy.
Yeah.
We play a lot of cowboys.
You
play a lot of cowboys, right?
Yeah, it's like
It's
I
that
feel
kind
like
of stereotypical.
Yeah,
you?
for me, for commercials, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's. I mean, I remember first time I was a Budweiser commercial, and then they brought us back to do the same thing again. And I mean, they're so easy. You just, a few lines. It's not a kill. It's not like you have to maintain it for a play. Like if you're doing a play. And it's the
It's a whole
Scottish
different
play.
Right.
You've got to hold that thing.
Oh, dude, I had so much trouble with Scott because I kept going into Irish is easier for me because I'd done Irish before that. And Scottish, it's
different. Yeah.
It's so different. And
then there's so many different places. You could be Edinburgh Scottish.
Yeah.
Or you could
And I
be
can't remember
Glasgow.
where we were, but I studied. I remember had because this was a long time ago. This was in the '90s. I had cassette tapes and. I listened to it day after day after day, and I would go in. I had a vocal coach like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then that was one of the only plays. I was talking about theater yesterday. This is like one of the only plays that really bombed in LA for me, which I'm kind of happy about. Nobody really saw that one. So if you saw the Scottish play I was in, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll put it out there right now.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
we didn't even last like 3 weeks or something, so it was a short run.
Well,
But
you
I
could
don't
be
even remember the
Scottish
name of it, to be honest, but yeah.
And you just, like Sean, you can be Scottish and just
Yeah.
play Scottish all the time.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any
exactly.
difference.
And
he's the
And he
only
became
person.
iconic for being himself.
Well,
But,
do you remember?
I mean, James Bond probably helped that one. but, yeah.
Shalako. That's
Yeah.
maybe going back a bit.
But no,
Sean
that-
Connery and Brigitte Bardot,
Okay.
right? And he's playing a cowboy. Yes. Run over there and hide behind the big rock. It's like
That's great.
That's him.
Yeah.
It's like
And that worked, though, right?
It worked for him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. Right? So accents. I'm in Israel doing a film.
Mhm.
I'm playing. Another bad guy, and I was meant to kill.
You played a bad guy.
Yeah, for a change.
Oh, yeah.
So I meant. This is where the stunt work came in because they wanted me to fight Dolph Lundgren. So it was one of these long, big,
wow.
drag-out fights. It starts off in his kitchen and goes into his living room, and then we fly through this lounge area, then on the
Wow.
balcony, and then up. Anyway, it's a long-winded thing. But while I was there, there was another film company there, and they were making, it was Canon Films, and they were making Delta Force 3. Well, they'd done Delta Force 1, 2 with
Right.
Chuck Norris. Delta Force 3, I learned this because I'm sitting at the bar having a drink, and the guy's next to me, and he's just been on the phone. He slams the phone down. He says, "Oh, goddamn, this, that, damn, you know." I said, "What's up, man?" He says, "We're filming Delta Force 3, and Tony Peck's not going to do it." I said, "Oh, what is Delta Force 3? You know, dummy here, I'm not." He says, "Oh, well, we got sons of famous actors. We got Nick Cassavetes.
Yeah.
We got Eric Douglas, and you know, he's going. And, we got Mike Norris, Chuck Norris' son. You know, and
Right.
we wanted Gregory Peck because we're making sons of famous actors." I said, "Oh, it's a pity I don't have a famous father, really, but you know, I could have done that." You know, you've had a few. You tell them anything, you know.
Like Liquid Courage at that
So,
point.
he says, "Why, you're an actor?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just filming, co-starring with Dolph Lundgren." I wasn't co-starring. I was just,
said it, yeah.
So he says, "Well, maybe I can get you an interview with a director." So next thing, I get a little note under my door. "You've got an interview with such and such, the director, and he's in room 235 or whatever."
Right.
4 o'clock. So I think, sure. And then he sent me this little piece of script, and this guy's a Russian colonel. I'm thinking, "Oh, piece of cake," because I just done a play in England. There's a Russian, and I thought, wow.
Right. Yeah.
So I go in, and I've got my script, and I meet the director, and he sits me down and says, "Okay, you want to give me, we'll read a little bit." So I'm into it, and I don't know what I was. "Yes, we are going to. I will do my best Russian accent and tell you where we are going with this thing," and I'm like, blah blah blah. So we go on like this, and he stops me and says, "It's really good, but it's a little bit thick. It's a bit heavy."
A little too much Russian.
Yeah. I said, "Too much Russian, yeah." So I said, "Okay, well," he said, "Have you seen Hunt for Red October?" I said, "What, with Sean Connery?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Just like he plays the Russian colonel. Can you do that? Something more like that?"
Oh, no, you didn't do Sean Connery.
So I just immediately, I said, "Oh, yeah, sure, you're sorry. You want me to sort of do it like this, and this is like," I'm just doing a fist thing for Sean. This is perfect.
Perfect.
That'll do. So I got hired. So on the first bloody day, I'm thinking, "Oh, God, I can't do this. How am I going to do this?" I go in, people are going to really going to think this is
they're going to go, "Oh, he's copied."
So I kind of mix and melded it a little bit, and did a little bit of Russian and a bit of Sean, and
You did it.
we did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it worked out. But that was great because that got me into doing Canon films. You see, that's the thing. It's just sometimes you just get lucky.
You got to look, yeah.
Sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes
Well, you got to talk about it. It's kind of like it's those opportunities.
Yeah.
I talked about this before. I missed a lot of opportunities when I first started in the business because I would be sitting at those tables talking to those people, and I didn't speak up. I mean, I used to work at Sylvester Stallone's bar in one of my first jobs in Hollywood, and I used to stand side by side with him every night and talk to him as a person. But I never had the courage or the balls to say, "Hey, man,
any chance
in
helping
case you want me to get in the film or something,
Yeah.
Hey, I've been coming here for 6 years. You put my stuff on Skid Row. Why don't you put me in your film?
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Hey, meatball.
Yeah.
If you want to arm wrestle, whatever. But I never did it, and I kick myself, for not stepping up.
Nice.
And so I wasn't drinking. That might have helped because I was kicking it was Jean-Claude Van Damme. We used to kick him out all the time.
Oh,
he was the one that was always drunk in the bar.
The dancer.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah. So he would bring in his harem of women, and we would. Yeah, I think he had a bit of a problem then, but anyway,
probably.
you're gonna do a little music for us too, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can do.
What are you gonna play?
Oh, well.
Do you have a suggestion over there, young lady?
Well, you're going to give me a suggestion, but I won't play it.
Yes.
This is where,
I know he's going to play his own thing. That's why I just want to try and involve you over there.
No, I'll play this one then for Nancy. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning, I wrote down this song. Just can't remember who to send it to. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find my friends. But I always thought I'd see you again, again.
Yeah.
Short one.
I like that one. I like that one.
You notice
That was sweet.
this is a Richie style. Richie Havens, if you remember Richie Havens from.
I know the name, but I don't.
Oh,
that was a little
amazing.
I missed that
Before
era.
your time, yeah, Woodstock, yeah.
I don't want to say.
Well,
that.
I think I was only about 13 or something like that then, but it made a big impression because I was in Ireland. I was living in Ireland.
Yeah.
And back there, it was all show bands. You know, the big show bands.
Yeah.
Like they go out and they might play a little bit of Buddy
It
Holly.
was like the
or
big band stuff.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So to hear somebody, to see Woodstock and these individual performers, one man get up and play to 500,000 people for 3 hours. Because nobody else would go on before him, you see.
Oh, right.
But the thing was, where I was going with this, Richie learned how to play guitar like this. Oh, you can't see it because it's a radio. But anyway, he put the guitar in his lap and he tuned it to an open tuning. And then he would use his thumb and play like this.
Right.
So then he learned, and then he eventually turned it around like that, and still using his thumb like that. But then he'd add little to make it minor or sevenths.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know that's all music stuff, but I just find the man fascinating. So I got a little DVD which was him showing you how to play, and it's wonderful. So I learned from Richie Havens in a way, indirectly, how to play like this. And I just love it. I can play standard.
So is that what you? That's kind of how you play then.
Well, yeah.
I saw
Some
you doing a
songs,
little bit. Yeah.
It's kind of different, you know. But anyway, I'll put this away and we can continue our conversation.
That was great. Thank you very much. And that's what I said. Musician was another one. Songwriter, singer, fascinating.
Horseman.
Horse. You want to talk? You want to talk horses?
Well,
where can people pick up a voice for the horse?
Online on my website.
Here's you see the cover again. It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
and I mean it's on our Facebook as well.
JohnSt.Ryan.com. Yeah.
What was it?
JohnSt.Ryan.com.
JohnSt.Ryan.com. Also, Instagram is at John St. Ryan.
Yes.
Okay, got that. We're
So
trying
with
to help you get followers.
The
That's
horse
what we're
thing,
doing.
thanks, man. The
Yeah.
horse thing is really important to me because when I came to America, I came on a visa for Canon Films because they gave me a 3-picture deal.
Oh, good.
So when I came over, this was wonderful, you know. So the deal was, I said, look, okay, if you're going to do this, I'd like to take, you know, the deal, obviously, but
Right.
I'd like to have my family here because I've got 3 boys and my wife. And they said, okay, well, we'll sort it out. We'll get you a visa. So they did. So we shipped everything over, sold the house and everything, closed the gyms in England because I was teaching martial arts as well. Well, I didn't close them. I handed over to the other, you know, trainee instructors and instructors. Came over, and bearing in mind, I only rode for fun in England, in Ireland. Just, you know, how fast can I run? How high can I jump that hedge? Can I jump over that ditch? Just
That was
enjoyable
all
things.
English saddle too. You didn't ride
yeah,
Western back
no,
there, right?
no.
So did you
Just little
have to-
pancake saddle,
Did you have to learn Western here?
Yeah, you know, well,
It's
learning
a whole different thing, right?
in a way, you know, because in England you can't ride a horse. Back then you couldn't ride a horse unless you went to the school
It's like a proper
and
thing.
you
It's
learned, and you were on a line, and you had to learn how to ride with your hands hanging onto a little strap but no reins.
Right.
So the instructor sent the horse around at the walk, the trot, the
I mean,
canter.
it was very like proper or
Yeah,
upper.
and then you
high.
have to let go, and you have to have your hands here,
Right.
and then eventually you have your hands out here, and just ride it.
Right.
And turning and all the rest of it. So that was a good schooling for your seat, coupled with the fact that, you know, I'd done, I don't know, 20 odd years of martial arts then. So when I came over, the love of horses was just a hobby in a way. I didn't have a lot of time because I was full-time teaching martial arts,
Yeah.
and then of course the film stuff and theater as well. So when I got over here and I got the picture deal with Canon, this went really good, and I was scheduled to do this film with Chuck Norris, strangely enough. And then they called me in, and we'd only been there probably 2 months. And they called me in and said, "We've got a little bit of a problem, John. We've had to file Chapter 13.
Oh, no.
I said, "I have no idea what Chapter 13 is. I don't even know what Chapter 12 is or 11. So what is 13? He says, "Well, it's a bankruptcy."
Oh, shit.
I said, "Shit, well, what does that mean?" He says, "Well, it means that we're closing, and, you know, all the projects are gone." He said, "But most importantly for you, you don't have a visa."
Oh.
I said, "So we moved over here. We brought everybody
no.
over. So now I'm thinking, what can I do? Well, I'll go and teach martial arts. That's easy. I can just drop into that."
Yeah.
But in between thinking of doing this, I also we lived next door to a lady who had horses. So I went home and I said, "Look, I don't mind what I'll do. I'll do whatever you need. There's mucking stables out, but I need to keep working. I need
Yeah.
to earn some money." So she gave me a job. At that time, it was $5 an hour. Right?
That was a lot back then.
Shoveling
Yeah,
horse
yeah,
shit
that was
and
good.
riding horses for it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did for a long time until I could get myself sorted. And there's another little story offside thing, but I'll stick with the horse thing.
We have
Anyway.
about 5 minutes.
Is that all we got?
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
let's
we're
see.
coming
The
in.
horse thing is the most important to me, really,
Yeah.
because the man who taught me is a man called Tom Dorrance. He wrote a book called True Unity. It's a very difficult book to read, but it has so much value in it. It's one of these books that's not a how-to, step by step.
Right.
It's about life. It's about how you approach things, how you approach horses and things like that. So I spent a lot of time with Tom to try and absorb this. And that's, for me, as soon as I met him, that
Yeah.
was it. So I gave up. I more or less quit acting then and just, followed him around and went to clinics. And then eventually I started making videos for him and CDs and things like that, audio
Yeah.
books and such like. And that's what this came out, because Tom died several years ago, and there's nobody there's a lot of people purportedly doing his type of work, but for me, his way of working was more of a martial arts Zen thing in a way, if you like.
Okay.
It's a way of life. It's a way of working with horses. It's not about necessarily step by step. It's how you look at the horse, how you read the horse, how you present yourself to the horse, and then how the horse can then understand what you want. So
kind of like, not to say like the horse whisperer, but you're connecting to the energy of the horse.
I can tell you the story. The Horse Whisperer was written by Nicholas
based by him.
Evans.
Right.
It was based on Tom, because he went to see Tom and he watched him work.
Wow.
And when he told Tom and he wrote the book, Tom
So that's-
said, "I
so
don't want
like
anything to do with
like
this."
the picture here, you're connecting to the horse. That's what it's about. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
The energy of
But you see, Tom said he didn't want anything to do with that.
yeah.
So I'd leave that to somebody else. And other people got on the bandwagon and made a big name for
Made what it
themselves.
was. Yeah.
Tom was happy to be very quiet, and, I'll do my work. What he said was, "I don't force myself on a horse, and I won't force myself on other people. So if the people need me, I'm here."
That's smart.
And that's the way I try to live my life.
That's how you do it?
Yeah.
I was
It's
gonna
kind of
say,
hard in this
What can
day
you
and age.
What
though.
can you share with our audience or with the people out there? That other than your passion for horses, is there any advice or anything people getting into horses or?
Well,
I mean,
whatever.
you train people too, right?
Yeah,
You
it's always you teach
do you
in
still have
person.
your clinic and stuff? You do
Yeah.
that, all that, right?
Yeah.
You talk about that for a minute. Tell people about that.
Well, I go out and do clinics. I go, like last year I was in Australia for a month teaching there, and been in the different countries teaching.
Right.
But you're just going to help people with a horse and help them understand that this isn't something that you force on them. If you want a willing communication with your horse, you have to work at it. and I want to help you, and I'm happy to help you as long as you listen. But if you just kind of let it wash over because you just want a quick fix, then I wish we had a little bit longer because I'd tell you the story Tom told me about turpentine, but maybe we'll do that another day.
I know. I was like, you and I we could talk forever, and our stories. You have so much information. It's just a plethora. I just want to say again, you guys should check John out if you haven't. John St. Ryan. Our links are here. I'm not just wrapping it up right now, but just want to share that again. You know, I consider you one of my good friends, obviously, and just it's fun to. Yeah. It's always fun to shoot your shit with you and hang out. I know our stories. I remember being on set and we talked about whatever it was, whatever. I like that you and I both we've done a lot
Well, you've got life.
Yeah, it's about life.
You know, I mean, that's the thing that's the hard thing. Like when sometimes you really should draw on that life experience because that's what informs your character as an actor.
People are afraid to share that sometimes, right?
Well, some people don't have a life experience.
No,
I mean, I'm not knocking it, but young actors when they're coming in, they've got to really draw on technique more.
Right.
Because they don't have life
I don't think
experience.
they teach technique that they used to. Nobody. I mean, how many people coming up do theater or do like the theater again? And I think I've always said is the best training.
Yeah.
I have a funny, quick horse story that you made me think of. One of my first modeling jobs in New York. They go, "Hey, you look, you're like a cowboy guy. You're from Kansas, right? Or can you ride?" I go, "Yeah, I can ride." I said, and I grew up, riding Western. I was a cowboy, and I used to rope or wrangle horses and whatnot. And I'm like, I can ride. And they go, okay, we're gonna shoot in Central Park. I show up, and they have an English saddle, and I'm all dressed, like a Western cowboy, right, for this shoot. And I go, that's the wrong saddle, the wrong horn, and they go, we'll just shoot around it. And I said, okay, well, I'm not going to use the stirrups. I'm just going to drop my legs. Yeah. And it was the most awkward thing because first they're like, put your feet in the stirrups. And I'm like,
could we
that's
lengthen
not really
them a
going to
bit?
work, And I have like cowboy
jockey.
boots on with big heel. And I'm like, it was the funniest thing. I'm like, they were ready to shoot like a Western thing with an English horse. And
that's it.
I mean, even the horse was like,
that's them goddamn Easterners for you.
It was a funny thing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what they did with it, but we shot it and we made it work. But anyway, I think we're wrapping it up, right? Where's anybody in there?
Okay.
What else you got to say? What do you got to say for yourself?
My word at the moment is for horse people, respect is a facet of education, not domination. And that goes to people with dog training as well, because that's a little bit gonna skew as well. So if you want respect, educate your animal, educate your dog, your horse. Don't try and force things on. Domination doesn't work.
Right.
It'll
I agree.
bite you in the ass, and hopefully it's a dog that bites you in the ass.
That's so true. Well, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. John St. Ryan, check him out. We're going to post the links and everything once again. I'm so vain. We'll see you next week. Thanks again.
Sláinte.
All right.
You're listening to I'm So Vain with Josh Carmichael, only on LA Talk Radio.